Marvel's Wolverine by Insomniac has been the talk of the gaming community when it comes to its recent announcement and of course fans' hopes, wishes, and in some cases demands. And as far as I've seen, most journalists and fans agree that Marvel's Wolverine will not be an open world game like Spider-Man. And I think honestly that makes sense because he doesn't fit that mold. So if you guys haven't played X-Men Origins Wolverine on the PS3 and 360, I highly suggest it. That is a great Wolverine game. As a matter of fact, it's far superior to the film and goes in some very interesting ways and directions, and it honestly is a great overlooked game, so go get it if you can, and you're probably going to be able to find it in a bargain bin, so, worth checking out. Anyways, though, let's talk about the Wolverine game that's coming out. And most people are saying, yeah, probably don't expect a open world New York or anything like that. And that's the first thing that honestly went through my mind when thinking about how do they make a Wolverine game. Because let's be real, let's say they give you an entirely big open playground New York City, which is great and awesome if you're somebody that traverses fastly, if you're a Spider-Man. That's not always on ground level, and you need to get from one side to the other in a matter of 5 minutes. Wolverine, unless they're going to give him a motorcycle and make this Arkham Knight style where you're forced into it a lot of the time, I just don't see that being a scenario. Now also, not every superhero game has to be an open world to be good or enjoyed. Some Spider-Man games that have come out in the past were in fact not open world, but were more structured. And those were regarded as great. I mean, Shattered Dimensions, for example. Another example would be Wolverine Origins, and also Arkham Asylum. Because if you look at Arkham Asylum, Arkham was just a hub. Everything else was sectioned off into individual little sections, and those were essentially levels. So when you get to Wolverine, think about it like this, and this is the best way I can explain it to everybody to understand. Wolverine will have open world elements, but think of it as your Tomb Raider. Think of it as your most recent Uncharted Lost Legacy. Think of it as sort of a God of War scenario in a way to represent it, where you have hubs, and these hubs allow for exploration. And while you're there, you can do various things, unlock different things, go elsewhere, and then probably come back and then unlock new things with new abilities, just like the most recent God of War. That way, you can structure a more organized story that spans leaving just one city behind and going into multiple locations. And if anything, Wolverine is literally a character that is open for that, considering how long he's lived and all the places he's been. You could literally do it through different decades as well and connect it all together to one big story. So I am 100% inclined to believe that, just like everybody else is trying to say without fanboys raging at them, no, you're not getting a full-on open world game in the classic sense of a Spider-Man style. You're going to get a more shrunk down, hub-based world that connects everything together, which I think in Wolverine's favor will do a lot of favors for the game, how it's structured and the storytelling you can tell.